Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with one simple question. Which defense was better for the Raiders? Maxx Crosby led defense or Khalil Mack led defense? Ladies and gentlemen, that is the question of the day, and we are going to talk about it in depth. And with that, my boy Black, kick us right in.
I don't know what it is.
Which team, by colors alone, is identifiable around the world?
The autumn wind is a raider.
Which team, by slogan, commitment to excellence,
Pillaging just for fun.
just win, baby?
He'll knock you round,
All those things
then upside down,
are the Raiders.
and laugh when he's conquered and won.
When you have great coaches, then after you have great coaches, you get great players. You have a great organization, and you tell them one thing: just win.
He's blowing up. Raiders.
Just win, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, them boys are back from the Bay. Bay boys back
Boys.
at it. It's your boy, the Good Raider, with your boy, Black, the quarterback, with another one for you today. How we doing out there? First of all, let's just say some hellos. It's Friday night. Get your beers, get your weed, get your whatever you need to just chill and relax with us a bit. Let's just have a good Friday. How you doing today, my man, Black? Let the people know how you doing today.
Man, if I was any better, I'd be you.
Oh, that's what I tell everyone. So good, so good. Yo, give us a shout out in the chat there. Give us some Raiders. Let's get some Raiders going here because we about to have a good time. Because tonight is gonna be Raider v Raider. This is going to be a dogfight, Raider v Raider. If you didn't hear the topic is a simple one. Which defense was better? Past tense. Khalil Mack led defense or Maxx Crosby led defense. And you might think this wouldn't work, but it actually will the more you look at it. Khalil Mack played 4 years for the Raiders. His stats for those 4 years for the Raiders were pretty much identical to the stats of Maxx Crosby in his 4 years. The question is, which one of those defenses was better for the Raiders? And another little kicker you may not know, both Maxx Crosby and Khalil Mack both had Derek Carr as their quarterback for their first 4 years. I think Crosby had it for a little bit longer. And both teams made the playoffs one time. Am I right so far? Anything? And I get anything wrong? Because
Oh, that's pretty good. I didn't really peep it that it
Uh-huh.
was really that close.
This is a much better competition than you would have thought. The only thing missing are the peripherals. How can we judge which defense was really better? That's going to be the conversation here tonight. But before that, I believe my boy Black got a question that he wants to ask and talk about Maxx Crosby and his rating.
Yeah. Have you guys seen the rating for Maxx Crosby?
I have. So let's put it up.
Top-
Let's put that
Top
up.
4. He was top 4 on the list.
Raiders.
Trying to pull the list up real quick for us. Okay. That's why. 1 second, y'all. There we go. All right, let's see. I'm sure a lot of you guys have already seen the list, heard about the list, or whatever, whatnot. Maxx Crosby was number 4 on this list. Now, I guess
So he was also 4 last year. Okay.
Yeah, he was 4 last year as well.
Mhm.
But the person who, Myles Garrett being Myles Garrett, right? He's number one.
Of course.
And then there was Micah Parsons.
Okay.
I don't know how I feel about that one all the way. And then it
Can you
was
put up that top 10 list you had up earlier?
let me see. Oh yeah, hold on.
Oh yeah, if you're coming in, you didn't miss much. We just started. The topic is right now we're going to talk about Maxx Crosby's ranking. This is a ranking that came out about defensive ends, and Maxx Crosby got 4th. Again, the question is too high or too low. I have my own opinion, and I some of you may not like it, but it's okay. We'll get to it.
That's why our show is always interesting, right?
We'll get to it. Yeah, exactly.
Because you never know what the other person's
again.
going to say.
Okay.
Here's the list right here. Number 1 was Myles Garrett.
I like that.
Number 2 was Micah Parsons.
I like that.
Number 3 was Will Anderson Jr.
You know what I think about him already.
Yeah. Number 4 was Maxx Crosby. Number 5 was Aiden Hutchinson.
Okay.
6 was Hunter. 7 was TJ Watt. 8 was Nick Bosa. And rounding out the list is Burns at 9 and Nick Bonito at 10. So, wow.
Okay.
What are you thinking about Maxx Crosby and his situation? He was ranked number 4 last year. His lowest ranking was 8, and his highest ranking was 2.
His lowest ranking was it. That was probably his rookie year, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, right.
I'm. Someone's already going in chat. Someone's already saying, "You want me to kick this off?" Because you know what?
Go ahead, brother.
It's a 4 is fine, but that's a weak 4. I would actually rank Max lower than that this year. Sorry.
What?
Yeah, 4 is generous.
Oh yeah.
Whatever.
Before you get started too, that's before you get started in there too, because they did mention this is about the player right now. It's not about their body of work. This isn't an award for lifetime achievement award, and it said that in the ESPN article. So it is the player right now. So
yeah, exactly.
You have him ranked a little lower. Where would you have him ranked at, brother?
I think 4 is high. The only problem is who am I going to put in front of him? Honestly, I'll bring him down to around 6, maybe even 7. The only change that I would make in the top is Will Anderson is number 2 for me, and Micah Parsons is number 3. But Max would be like 6 or 7. I'm sorry, it just is. Yeah, it's 6 or 7 for me. I have my reasons, and I can go into it. I just don't think Max last year. I just don't think Max was that impactful at all.
What?
Hey, I say it as it is, and you would not follow me because you don't do that to me. So put that sub in there. Let's make this marriage real.
So here's the thing, right? I can see Max being 4 because of he's coming off of an injury year. His numbers isn't what his normal numbers are. He did play better last year than he did the year before that. So, and the reason why they were tied, but Will Anderson Jr. got more top 5 votes, so he got 9 at 3.
Oh yeah.
So here's my argument, and this is my preliminary argument: is Max gets more double teams. Max don't have the help that like a Will Anderson, and even Myles Garrett, and even your boy Micah Parsons. Those defenses that they play on are incredible. They're world beaters. The defenses that they're on, they have help. I watched. I went to go watch Will Anderson's tape. I was like, well, I know he's a force. He's the 3rd year.
Dude.
And I get it, but he doesn't get the double teams that Max get. He gets a lot of help. He can create pressure, but then they can't step up because they have pressure coming from other places. And don't get me wrong, he's a baller because he definitely gets after the quarterback, hit the quarterback, knock the ball out. He does all the things. And what I do know, although I know this isn't a lifetime achievement award, if we're gonna compare the two, before we even get to that, we are gonna compare the two. Let's compare their first 3 years, not
Okay.
Max right
Yeah.
now. But
Okay. Yeah.
but even with that being said, though, I want to hear your point because it is for right now, and I can see them giving him the edge, Will Anderson, because of Max having a down year, considering what his capabilities are. But I mean, to put him below, let's see, who you guys say is
What
six,
up,
but
Stephen Black Lounge? What up?
to put him below Aiden Hutchinson, but Hunter, TJ Watt, even Nick Bosa. Nick Bosa didn't even really play last year. I mean, like,
Right.
how you gonna put Max down there with those guys? I'd love to hear it.
Here's how. So the main topic that we're going to get to today is the Maxx Crosby defense versus the Khalil Mack defense. The reason this question is on my mind, and it's been on my mind for a while, is my number one frustration with Maxx Crosby, if there has been any, is the fact that I don't see a clear evidence of him making the defense around him better. We keep saying things like he doesn't have help, but that's kind of the weird thing for me, because it's like, if you're in the NFL, you kind of make your own help by making the people around you just better. I think, and I've had this thought for a while, and I would honestly love to have a conversation with Max himself. I think the way Maxx Crosby plays football makes Maxx Crosby better. It doesn't make other people around him better. And I think that's been the biggest problem with the Raiders defense under Maxx Crosby. He has been consistently consistent, but you can't really scheme him up in a way that opens up anybody else on the team to really shine. That's my issue with Maxx Crosby, and that's been my issue with Maxx Crosby. And I think that issue continues in that I think as long as Maxx Crosby is on this team, I just don't see anybody else really improving, because that's just not his type of game plan.
Well, I'm going to disagree with the he doesn't make players better around him. I definitely think he put them in position to be better. If we look at last year, Devin White was balling out last year. And I went and I have the tape because people said that he doesn't make players around him better. And I'm like, well, for one, you can only put them in position if they don't produce, then that's on them. Like Kuntz is supposed to be a complementary part to Max. Now, I mean, Max can chase a dude down, and
I think Kuntz is just bad coaching. I think Kuntz is just bad coaching. I don't know who told him to play end. I think that person messed up his career. Honestly, I think that's his career is done because he listened to somebody who told him to play end, and it's like, no, you're not an end.
What about Christian Wilkins? What about let me see, like what Spillane? Who else we brought in? We brought in. We didn't. Let me see. We didn't brought in a few people during his regime.
What was Maxx Crosby's best year?
What was his best year? Probably
statistically was 2016.
Maybe 2016. I can look that up. But what I was saying about Devin White if you guys don't remember the Tennessee game, go look at that. And I'm gonna do a breakdown on it probably tomorrow. I got the video where Maxx Crosby was getting double and triple teamed, which allowed players to come in and make big plays during that game. And that was and that's the game way we supposed to play. We got ahead of that game and we never gave up the lead, and we just stayed on their throat the whole time. And Maxx Crosby had 2 sacks in that game. Devin White went crazy that game. He got like a pick. I think he got like a safety or close to it or something like that. Or he just balled out too, simply because of the schemes or how they were trying to block Max. And I will show y'all that. So
okay.
I think that's a myth that he doesn't make other players better. I just think they don't step up.
Let's keep this in the back of our mind as we go. Maxx Crosby's best 2 years was 2022 and 2023. 2022, we got 12.5 sacks, and 2023, we got 14.5 sacks. Okay. Those are his best 2 years. That's one of those Bisaccia years, right? One of them is Bisaccia years.
What, 2020?
I think 2022 was Bisaccia years, right? When we went to the playoff. Right. Yeah. Okay. And Khalil Mack's best year was probably 2026. with the Raiders when we went to the playoffs. Oh no, 2025, where Khalil Mack got 15 sacks in 2025, and in 2020, in 2015, I mean, and then in 2016, I believe we went to the playoffs. In 2017, that's when Jack Del Rio got fired, and then Gruden came in, and Gruden traded him away to Chicago Bears for the 2018, where he also got 12 sacks. Okay, stats are pretty close enough. So, but you are arguing that yes, Maxx Crosby does make other people better. Devin White. Okay, so Devin White. Who else would you say that Maxx Crosby in the past 8 years has improved? Who else would you say? Because the line has not improved in the past 8 years. The line has been getting progressively worse and worse. We brought in Christian Wilkins, so we can't really blame anybody for that. But Tyree Wilson didn't work out.
It's not Max's fault.
Okay, sure. Malcolm Coons also hasn't worked out. That's also not
Max's fault.
But here's what I'm saying. Like, everyone we put with Maxx just has not seemed to get better.
Let me tell you some players that got better. Or we don't even know if they got better because they just started playing. You can't tell me Tonka having 4 sacks and JJ McGee's having 4 sacks. And,
okay.
Like you think that's because they just that much better than the players they was playing in front of? No, it's the scheme. People could say all they want that Maxx haven't made people better in the last 8 games or he doesn't wreck games. Oh, I guess they forgot the Chicago game too, how he wrecked that game. But we lost that game because our offense can't score more than 14 points. Like I have at least 3 games that he wrecked last year.
Okay.
No, I don't know why. What you guys expect him to wreck every game? Like you can't wreck every game if you don't have help. And all these players that wreck games, let's look at Myles Garrett. Their defense is bona fide. And it's been bona fide. Let's look at Michael Parsons. Even when he was with Dallas, their defense was somewhat bona fide. And then when he went to the Packers, bona fide defense. Let's look at Will Anderson. You can't tell me that Houston doesn't have a bona fide defense. And the Raiders' defense is at the bottom. So we can say, well, he looks good because he's on a bad team. Like, man, I'm not trying to hear that because the double team, he get double teamed at like the 3rd most rate out of all the players, 3rd or 4th. Like the people, the teams in the league legit said, you got to know where Maxx is. And Maxx, he does things that they don't even, he can wreck a series without getting a stat. So that's why I would say stats tell a story, but it doesn't tell the story. So if we're just going to look at stats, I mean, like, okay. But if you look at the tape and you look at the film, unlike the average fan does, then, yeah, I can see why you would say he doesn't make teams better. Not to say you don't watch tape, but I'm just saying the majority, because I know you're going to have a logical decision, reason why you say what you say.
Right. So my logic is comes down to this: in that whenever you're talking about great defensive players, there is a point where their greatness is recognized. In that, whenever somebody is brought in to quote unquote help them, that person that's brought in, their status as a player improves, and then lifting up the entire defense. The point that I've been making is, yes, individually Maxx is great. And I'm not necessarily saying that Coons was his fault or that this was his fault. All I'm saying is that when you bring in people to help Maxx, it just hasn't worked out. The defense overall hasn't improved beyond Maxx just being Maxx. You know what I'm saying? When you look at other defenses, Niners, you can tell other players that are good. Now, are you saying that for the Niners, it's not really Nick Bosa that's making them better? I would say, I don't know. It kind of feels like Nick Bosa is having an impact on the people behind them, because the people behind them just kind of seem to be, boom, elevated somehow. We just don't see a lot of that with Maxx. The linebackers have not been improved because of Maxx Crosby's play, and the defensive backs have also not been improved. And my thought is this: does this have something to do with the fact that Maxx is really hard to scheme in a way that helps other people out around him? Number one, Maxx never leaves the field, so it's not like other people get a chance to like rush the pass from his position because he'll never leave. So that's the question. Is it
Who?
because it's just really hard? Okay, that's the point. Is it because it's really hard though to scheme up other people around Max in a way that improves them? And
We
because
can't even
Max,
scheme up the other players when he on the field. Like, how we gonna
okay,
scheme when he
but
ain't
that's my
on the
point.
field?
So are we saying that it's a coaching? It's just a coach's fault then? Coaches have not been able to scheme up the defense well with Max to make it to elevate it to a top 10 defense.
So with Nick Bosa, right? Nick
Right.
Bosa, as good as he is, he was a catalyst. He's like the starter of the engine. But the engine was there. Like, let's not act like the Niners don't have their defense wasn't stout already. They just needed a spark plug, and Nick Bosa brought that to
That
him.
was a spark.
If you
Okay.
added Maxx Crosby to that defense, that defense would go crazy too. So
Maybe.
like
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
so the thing about the Raiders is this though. Like last year, the Raiders defense wasn't that bad. They were a middle of the pack defense, and then they just collapsed because we could not score more than 14 points all year long. We averaged 14 points. That's you're not going to play at a high level. And he had that defense playing at a level where they were playing good and they were playing better, but you can't sustain that all year long when your offense is leaving you on the field 2/3 of the time. Like that's just all it is. I mean, how do we
Okay.
blame Max for that?
Oh, and if anybody else wants to chime in, feel free. You can put some comments up. But my point is a simple one in that if I want to say that you are a great, because remember the main question now is which defense was better, Khalil Mack's defense or Maxx Crosby's defense. You obviously know that my answer is Khalil Mack's defense, because somehow, some way, Khalil Mack's defense just kind of produced overall more. Even though I don't even know who else Khalil Mack played with when Khalil Mack was there.
I
I
was
can't
just
think of
about
who
to
else he
ask you,
played
who
with.
did Max? I was about to ask you, who did Khalil Mack make better? Who did he make better?
Exactly. But overall, the Khalil Mack defense, I think, was just a better unit as a defense than the Maxx Crosby defensive units have been. With everything else being the same quarterback in Derek Carr, same quarterback, but it just feels like the Khalil Mack defenses were much more impactful than the Maxx Crosby defenses were, because every time we've brought in somebody to quote unquote help Max, it just doesn't work, right? Because at this point, we brought in Nicole Bedin and Quay Walker. Are we certain that now that we brought those in, that all of a sudden now that defense will be better? Because the question again is then, why were we trying to trade Max when the problem is we've never given him help, and now all of a sudden we're giving him help, and now we're trying to trade him? I think a lot of that has to do with skimming up Maxx Crosby. Because my argument is the reason why the defense has not significantly improved is because the defense has been running through Max, and it's just much harder to scheme up other players to improve because of the way that Maxx Crosby has been schemed up.
Maybe I'm thinking what's going on here is you guys are thinking that the defense is described by Khalil Mack because our defense was garbage with him on it.
With Khalil Mack, you think so?
With
You think the
Khalil
defense
Mack,
was
our defense
worse,
wasn't that good with him.
but the
And then
offense was better?
and with and with and with Maxx Crosby, at least our defense was at least like top 10 in scoring at
Okay.
some point. Yeah,
Okay.
like
Right.
so they weren't as bad. The defense itself wasn't as bad, although they might have had a better who's who on the team. But like I said, who do you guys are if the standard is who did he make better? Who did Khalil Mack make better? Like he didn't really make no one better if that's the case. And because their defense was definitely worse overall than Maxx Crosby's defense. Not to say either one of them was good, but if we're gonna talk about apples and apples.
Okay. I see your point there, because Khalil Mack's first year, he really only got 4 sacks his first year, right? Yeah, he only got 4 sacks because he didn't play that much. I didn't realize he didn't play that much when he first came in the league. He only played. Oh no, he played all. Khalil Mack actually did play all 16 games in his rookie year, but he only got 4 sacks. That's really interesting. Okay, it's because he was focusing on the run his first year because he got 72 sacks, tackles, so he was mostly focusing on the run. Okay, um,
Let's look at this. I pulled up the metrics, right?
mhm,
So Khalil Mack's peak was the 2016, and Maxx Crosby peak was what 2023. So scoring
right,
defense per points per game, Khalil Mack, he was 24 points, was the 20th ranked. Crosby 19 and a half, which was ninth ranked. Total
mhm,
defense yards per game, 375 for Khalil Mack. So that's 20. They got him 26th ranked, and Maxx Crosby 2023 was 330, and it was ranked 15th. Pass
hmm,
defense 257, which gives him 24th ranked, and Maxx Crosby was 212, with that gives him the 12th rank. And then
okay,
rushing defense was 117, which was 23rd against Maxx Crosby 118, which was 21st. And that was just the 2023 year. The 2024 year, the numbers are somewhat the same when it comes to Crosby. So looking at
okay,
these stats, I mean, it actually looked like the Maxx Crosby defense was better than the Khalil Mack's defense.
okay. I did find the weakness in Max Crosby's defense playing in those times. That is the total tackles. Khalil Mack got double the tackles of Max Crosby in his first 4 years, in his first 3 years,
Right,
double
because it was
every
nobody
year.
else there, obviously. So basically, the argument that you guys are using for Max, you should use it for Khalil because Khalil is the only one that was doing anything. He was just he was just so generational and otherworldly that we just think the defense was better. But
Yeah,
like, if I had to choose a player between the two, I'm gonna pick Khalil Mack for real though. I'm not gonna say I'm not
and
gonna pick
again, that's
Khalil Mack.
and you just and that is my point that the even the eye test tells us that yeah, Khalil Mack was just a little bit more impactful in that defense. Like he looked more like, oh yeah, we're going places because I'm going to take us there. I, yeah,
Yeah,
I want to
but
see
the
what
numbers
Chad
don't
thinks.
support that though. The numbers doesn't support that though,
So you don't
because
think the numbers support that? Okay, okay,
although I would agree that Khalil Mack is a better player, but I'm talking about a better since we were saying making your teammates better, it appears that Maxx Crosby made his teammates better because they had a better defense overall. Now, how that
hmm,
came about, I can't tell you, right? But because then we'll have to just basically go player for player. But I'm just saying, looking at the team stats, not the individual stats, the team stats say that Maxx Crosby, two of his years was better than Khalil Mack's best year.
in terms of what sacks,
No, in terms of I'm talking about team stats.
team stats.
In terms of scoring defense, total defense, pass defense, and rush defense.
Okay. Yeah, I'm seeing that. I'm seeing that.
And then, but the thing about it
Interestingly,
is, but the thing about it, Khalil got the defensive player of the year, so you would
right.
think that that defense is going to be better because they had the depoy over there. But just overall, it
Here's the
doesn't
thing, though.
pan out.
Here's the other catch, though. We gotta remember, and we gotta keep this in mind because we always say it, and now I think it's gonna come back and actually defeat Max on this particular point. That is, Max never leaves the game. Check this stats out. Max never left the game, and in his first 4 years, Khalil Mack doubled him in tackles. Meaning Khalil Mack was more effective on the football field in his first 3 years. Because Max did not stop. If tackles means stopping the run, and I think it does, Max didn't really round out his game till his fourth year with the Raiders. That's when he started getting 79 tackles, 83 tackles. Before that, Maxx was only getting 40. The highest was 46 tackles, while Khalil Mack was averaging 70, 75, 72, 60. Yeah, I think there is a point where the eye test, the players saw Khalil Mack being more impactful on a more consistent basis. And I think it has to do with the fact that the amount of time that Maxx Crosby was literally on the field, the production based on the amount of times he was on the field, Khalil Mack was just better on that front. Right? Even in the stats, you can clearly see that, yes, if Maxx is going to get more often than Khalil Mack is, the fact that Khalil Mack was getting way more tackles in his first 4 years, I think shows that Khalil Mack was just more impactful on the defense overall.
Yeah, but I'm not arguing that.
Okay.
I'm not arguing that he was more impactful or whatever.
But you don't think
Statistically, he was a better player. I'm not arguing that. I would agree with that totally. But what I will also, we can't ignore that if you're looking at the units themselves, and not only that, Khalil Mack had a better offense. Derek Carr, he was arguably his MVP season. Like they played better complementary football. Now you can't tell me the Raiders played complementary football in 2023 and 2024 at all.
Here's the thing, though. So to be fair, Khalil Mack had Derek Carr for 4 years, and if you're going based on Maxx Crosby's first 4 years, yeah, they have Derek Carr for about the same length of time. So are we saying that the Khalil Mack Derek Carr offense was better than the Derek Carr offense for Maxx Crosby? Because that's John Gruden years, ended with Bisaccia, right? And those, I don't know, those were pretty good, right? At least the last 2 years of John Gruden offense wasn't bad.
Yeah, but the best years that Maxx Crosby played in 2023 and 2024, the quarterback was Jimmy Garoppolo and Gardner Minshew. I'm going Minshew Pishew. Gardner Minshew and Jimmy Garoppolo, who everybody swear are the worst quarterbacks we could have ever had, right? So we already know that our offense was trash and our defense carried those teams, if you want to use that word carry, because what was our record? What was the record the year that we had? Because what I will say is this: we were 12-4 in 2016 with Khalil Mack. With 2023 was 8-9, and 24 we was 4-13. So that we did not play complementary football at all. And Maxx Crosby, had he not played all those snaps, had that not been his superpower, then we would have been 1-16 and 2-15.
Yeah, go ahead.
Overall, I get the eye test. The eye test, looking at the players, I can say that. But looking at the defenses, you can't just use your eye test on that. We got to rely on some of the stats too. I mean, especially when they're overwhelming to the point that Khalil Mack's team, that 2016 team, didn't win none of those primary statistical categories.
Okay, time of possession. I think right now, one person is definitely more. This is gonna seem so unfair. One person is definitely Hall of Fame bound, and the other is not. And technically speaking, they haven't played that many years apart. The eye test does show Khalil Mack. But I also think the messaging and the fact that if you look at time of possession and the fact that Crosby never left the field, the amount of times that Crosby has been on the field, the amount of more plays that Crosby has had, if we could even calculate that, I think it would clearly show that Khalil Mack made the defense around him much better than Maxx Crosby. Now, it could be that early on in his career, Khalil Mack caught on to that concept quicker than Maxx, and that's why you saw the tackle showing up. Because Khalil Mack was also double teamed, just like Maxx Crosby was. But for some reason, Khalil Mack still ended up with way more tackles than Maxx Crosby did.
No, Khalil Mack is the better player. Okay. He's the better player. Like,
yeah, but doesn't that mean that he made the defense better also?
how did he make the defense better when they didn't when the unit itself did not
improve.
look, the unit did not
Okay.
hold on. They was ranked 20th in scoring defense, 26th in the total defense, 24th in pass defense, and 23rd in rush defense. So I don't care how good Khalil Mack played, we were at the bottom of all those primary statistical categories. Now, when you go to Max 2023 season, it was top 10 in scoring defense. They were 15th, which is the middle pack of total defense. So 15 and 26 already. That's a big jump. I mean, pass defense, they were 12. The Raiders was 12 in pass defense, which is in the top tier, almost top 10. And then they were 21st in the rush defense. We couldn't stop the run like to save our lives. That's what always with our issue. But in the 24 season, we were 15th in the run defense, 15th in the pass defense, 15th in total defense, which is middle of the pack, and 15th in scoring defense in 24. So the 24 season after the 23 season was even better, which is even way better than Khalil Mack's 2016. I'm talking about collectively overall, not just the one player. Like we can't. How do we ignore that?
Because here's a problem, though. Here's a problem.
And I never knew that playing on the field without coming off of it can hurt you now. It's a bad thing that he's on the field too much.
Yes, it does. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the point. He's much harder to scheme up and get a better defense with because, one, he'll never leave the field. So no matter what, you always have to count him in the plays, no matter what. And remember, this was his thing. He was the first player who came into the NFL and made it a point that he'll never leave the field, which means at every single point, you are making yourself the primary driver of what's happening on the defense. And in his very first 4 years, I'm sorry, Maxx Crosby is the reason why the Raiders were never good against the run. He's literally the reason, because the reason we were good against the run with Khalil Mack is because Khalil Mack got so much of the tackles.
Do you hear yourself?
Yes.
Do you hear yourself? How is your edge rusher the reason why you can't? Perfect. How is your edge rusher the number one? Hold on, the number one stat that the edge rusher is supposed to have is sacks, not stopping the run. So the edge rusher is the reason why we can't stop the run.
That is false. That is false. The number one job of the edge rusher is to contain. It is stopping the run. In the NFL, your number one job as an edge is to stop the run. If you don't stop the run, you cannot win the game. This is the problem with Maxx Crosby. And
we can never hear that.
And we can tell because Maxx Crosby in 2022 all of a sudden jumped from 46 tackles to 79 tackles, meaning somebody went up to me and said, Max, we know you're good with the rush, but we cannot win games if you don't stop the run. And then Max immediately started stopping the run because, he went from 43 tackles to 79 tackles and then 83 tackles the following year. It has to be that he was stopping the run more. And this is why Khalil Mack is just considered better, because on the field, we saw Khalil Mack making a play after play, every single play. On the run, Khalil Mack was there. On the other side, Khalil Mack was there. It doesn't matter where the ball was going. Khalil Mack was there. Maxx Crosby is not that. Maxx Crosby is only there when the ball is going his side. Again, that proves the point that Khalil Mack made the defense better because it was easier to skim up Khalil Mack with the entire defense. But when it's Maxx Crosby, you can't. You can only skim up Maxx Crosby. That's the only thing you can do. And I've said this, and this is going to be my number one argument against Maxx Crosby, is that, one, he doesn't make the defense better because you can only skim him up. I actually think the reason why Tyree Wilson didn't work out with the Raiders is because, again, Maxx Crosby. And I think the reason why the defense is not really improved is, again, because Maxx Crosby, it's really hard to skim up the defense with Maxx Crosby in it.
How do you determine if one defense is better than the other? How do you determine? How do you not the player? How do you determine what year's defense is better?
We can't. This is the best we can do. I think we look at both of their best years. Khalil Mack's best year with the Raiders.
The way you determine if this year's defense is better than last year's defense is you look at what they gave up and where they ranked.
Okay, then let's look up this 2 years. Khalil Mack's best year was in 2015. That's his best year with the Raiders. Maxx Crosby's best year with the Raiders was 2023. All right, let's look at the stats for those defense in those 2 years.
Like I'm not understanding how you could.
Right.
They ranked at the bottom, no matter how good he played. No, I don't care if he was here, there, and everywhere. They still were at the bottom.
Okay.
Now, Maxx Crosby, whatever he was doing, they were in the middle of the pack. They had middle tier defense. So the defenses were better. Like, I'm not understanding that.
So you're saying that Maxx Crosby's defenses were better.
I thought that's what the question is. Which year defense was better? Maxx Crosby's year defense, or was it Khalil Mack's year defense? And the stats say that it was.
Let's get those stats then. So let's get those stats of why it was better, right? What was the actual stats for 2015? Where did the Raiders defense rank in 2015, and where did the Raiders defense rank in 2023? That should give us a narrow down. Max is a little sack happy. Look, and I think you're right on that, Frank, because Max literally came into the league with this mantra that he was going to be a sack guy, he was going to be a motor guy, and I think it definitely showed that in his first 4 years. At the very least, sacks was kind of his main thing. He wasn't about let's stop the offense from moving. It was just more, let me get in there and get a bunch of sacks. And Maxx Crosby started getting better the moment he started understanding that, making the team better means you need to also focus on the run primarily before start getting to the concept of getting to the quarterback. And I think Kahlil Mack got to those concepts better. And as a result, those defenses just performed better.
No, we keep saying they performed better, but they didn't.
Okay.
How did they perform better?
Okay, how did they not perform better?
Let's take 2015. 2015, scoring defense, they rated 22nd. Total defense, 22nd. Pass defense, 26. Rush defense, 13. So that they were middle to the tier there, but everything else was in the bottom. That year was even worse than the 2016 season. So it don't matter what year we talk about. Khalil Mack, as great as he was, as good as he looked on film, as much as he wrecked games, it didn't make the defense better. The defense wasn't overall better because of that.
What was the record in 2023 and 2015?
2023.
That should be good for Max. I think that's Pistachio Day.
No, 2023 Raiders went 8-9 because they had Garoppolo was the quarterback.
Okay, and
not Derek Carr.
And 2015 we went what record? 2015 we didn't. That wasn't a playoff year because I think 2014 was a playoff year, right?
No, 2016. The Raiders were 7-9 in 2015. So they
So it's the same record, about the same record.
And they had Derek Carr, a young Derek Carr at that.
For some reason, I think I just prefer Khalil Mack's defense. I think for me, Khalil Mack's defense.
There we go.
Yeah, I think Khalil Mack's defense seems to me like if we had Khalil Mack's defense now, we would be a better team than if we had than what we had before. If Khalil Mack offense. Here's what I'm saying.
Had a better offense. He had the better offense. So that mean their defense should have been better because they had the better offense. If you gave us Derek Carr last year, the 23 and 24 season, with that defense, we would have went to a playoff game. We would have went to the playoffs if you'd have gave us 2016 Derek Carr offense and put it with 2023 or 2024 Maxx Crosby defense, then they're going to the playoffs.
I think my point is that they won't because Maxx Crosby somehow, some way, will just making that happen. I'm sorry. We've got 8 years of him, and we don't know what we're doing. The team is in shambles. I don't know what more to say. He hasn't improved the defense. Right now, if we traded Maxx Crosby right now, nothing happens. The team will still be the team. When we traded Khalil Mack, we felt that impact. So,
Hey, so why is Will Anderson Jr. better than Khalil? I mean, than Maxx Crosby,
because
because he has more sacks.
because no, it's because Will Anderson is a more complete player than Maxx Crosby is.
Wow.
He'll stop the run more.
That's the only stat that he got better than Max is sacks.
Okay, but when it comes to defense, being able to stop the run is one of the stats that actually makes you a good, consistent defense.
It does make you a better all-around player, but that ain't why they get paid the big bucks. But even in that, Maxx Crosby got better run. He got more tackles by far than Will Anderson. Like by far. Like Will Anderson's not your run stopper.
Well, he's only been in the league for. I mean, how many tackles does Will Anderson get per year? I think it's actually.
Thought you would never ask. Hold on, here we go.
I think it's pretty high.
Let's look at Mr. Will Anderson.
And
then not only that, well,
52.
Let's go with let me see.
102 tackles in 2021. No, this competition's done. That boy put up 102 tackles in 2021. Will Anderson, including 17.5 sacks. What? I wish
1 year.
Maxx
1 year.
I wish Maxx Crosby could do that.
If you hold on, if you were to even put the first 3 years together, they're close. But hold on, let me get you Will Anderson's numbers.
Yo, Will Anderson is fucking nuts, my man. 102. Yo, that's nutty. That is nutty right there. I don't see. I don't even see.
You looked at 1 year.
Yeah, well, he's only been in the league for 3 years, but yeah, 2021.
Well,
102 tackles.
We're comparing him to a player that's been in the league for.
Oh, sorry. That's my bad. No, that's his college stat. Oh, thank God.
Yeah, I was saying, I don't remember him having that many tackles in the league, but hold on. I got to find it. Hold on.
102 tackles in college? Wow. Okay, so you're right. He's mostly just been sack heavy too. He does generally get more sacks than his first 3 years. He's gotten more sacks than Maxx Crosby, but that's not really that big of a deal. Okay.
Here we go.
Oh, thank God.
Will Anderson Jr.'s first 3 years against Maxx Crosby first 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Games played 46 to 49. I'm giving you Will Anderson's numbers first.
Mm-hmm.
Sacks, he had 30 sacks. Crosby has 25 sacks.
Yep.
Total tackles 117 to 142.
Mm-hmm.
Tackles for loss 46 to 41.
Mm-hmm.
QB hits 68 to 60.
Mm-hmm.
Forced fumbles 4 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
Pass deflection 6 to 12. So I mean, like, I don't know. Them is pretty comparable.
Now who played more snaps?
Oh, we know
sorry, Max has hurt
himself
on that. I'm sorry, Max.
We know Max played more snaps.
That means that he should be more per snap, and he's not.
I've never in history have I ever said, you know what, this player is not as good as this player by statistics because he got more snaps.
Exactly. Because
like we've never compared snaps. Never.
But my man,
ever.
If you're going to be in the game nonstop, you need to be more impactful, or else you're just being in the game, just disrupting the flow of the game. That's where I said Max needs to improve on. We need to make him play less so he can be more impactful. We're talking about impact. Yes, Max has stats, but he also never stops playing.
Because there's no one else to play.
No,
who else did you? Okay, so when we take Max out the game, so when we take Max out the game, who do we put in there?
You put in Tyree Wilson on his side because that's the side Tyree Wilson plays, but he can't play
Tyree
that side
Wilson
because Max doesn't want to leave the field.
Tyree Wilson?
Yes. If you don't want to leave the field, you got to get more than 12 sacks a year.
So Maxx Crosby is the reason why Tyree Wilson didn't play.
I have said that from day one. I think Maxx Crosby is the reason why Tyree Wilson did not develop.
Oh my God. I can't believe this.
I've said it since day one. I've said it since day one. And I've given you the reasons. Maxx Crosby never leaves the field. It makes it hard to put somebody else in. And Maxx Crosby plays the exact same position that Wilson played. And again, this is the point.
Now, I would agree with you on that. Most of the great plays that Tyree made, it was on the side that
It was
Max
on the
was
side
on.
Maxx Crosby
And,
played.
and, and I said that. I was like, he made better plays on that side. Now, to sit there and say, okay, if we take Max out and put Tyree there, let's not act like Tyree Wilson was like the world beater. Like he only had 4 sacks last year, like for real.
I
Like
know.
even if he was a double that, that's only 8 sacks, man. Like
I know, but again, keep in mind, he was a rookie that was drafted to be developed, and part of being developed is having the availability to be developed. If you've got a player in his prime like Max, who literally never left the field and made it known that he would never leave the field, how do you skim up anybody else to succeed, and how do you freshen Max up to be more impactful? Because again, if you look at just a amount of snaps that Max was getting compared to other people, Max should have been way more effective on the defense, just based on snaps.
so it's like this. Like there's YouTube content creators where they can go on, right? And they might get 500 views. Let's just use a number, 500. They go on live, they get 500 views.
True.
I go on live and I get 250 views. Yeah, I gotta go on twice as much. Yeah, so what? But what the end result is, who get the most views? Who get the most views? It don't matter if I went on 3 times, you went on 1 time. That's your fault. You only went on once. I didn't know that just because I thought the best ability was availability. So now over availability is the inability.
Yes.
I got it.
Yes,
over availability is now the inability.
Yes,
okay.
that is true. Overability is a thing. Overability is a thing. Let's call it Moneyball. If you are going to be in the game 100% of the times, I need you to produce up to 100% of the times more than somebody who's only in the game 75% of the times. Because if I can get you out of the game and reduce you down to 75, that person, I can bring somebody else up to 75 who would maybe get a sack when you're not able to. Well, again, you keep saying who, but when the guy says I'm not leaving the field, which by the way, why are we not talking about how ridiculous it is that we just think that it's okay that Max quote unquote never left the field? Because again, this is part of the problem with the Max-led defense. It was always about Maxx Crosby, and it hasn't produced anything. And even all the coaches were just giving Max whatever he wanted. He'll never leave the game. What the hell told you to never leave the game?
How didn't it produce anything when we had a middle of the tier defense for 2 years? When we had Garoppolo and Minshew, we had a middle tier defense, and we did not do anything on offense. But that's Maxx Crosby's fault too now.
Who else are we going to blame?
We're going to blame the offense.
He's the leader of the team.
That's who you blame.
The one who keeps saying we're gonna go into playoffs. And we never did it.
Well, he did his part.
Okay.
Like, he got the defense to be a middle tier defense.
Okay, I think you're right on that. I think we do have to give into that and say for the first 4 years he did his part, right? Even though my point is when you look at the first 4 years, he clearly was not doing enough of one thing, which is stopping the run.
Yeah, that might have been the weakness of his game. Yeah.
Okay, but he also never left the field.
Overall, as a unit, they performed at middle of the tier defense.
But he also never left the field. So if he was supposed to have left the field and somebody else stopped the run that he couldn't stop, would that have not have led to a better defense?
Who? I keep saying who?
You're basically saying that Max was in the game all the time, right? He was in the game all the time, which is that every time he was in the game, his side was a hole for the running team, which meant that people were running his way because they couldn't stop the run. How does that not hurt?
No, that's not why. They wasn't running his way like that. They was running from him.
Okay, first of all, I'm also not the only one who said that Maxx Crosby doesn't stop the run, right? Because Talib, what's his name, blasted him on social media saying, Max, you don't stop the run. Well, that's because he looked at his first 4 years and be like, yo, Max, you don't stop the run. That's why your defense sucks, because you're a giant hole on the run game. Yeah, you've got a lot of grit. You can push and push and push, but you're a freaking hole when it comes to running the ball.
Maxx Crosby is probably, if not the best, he's definitely in the top of all defensive ends in stopping the run. Like, we know that he stops the run.
Yeah,
like, I'm confused. Like, so Maxx Crosby, as much as he played, he had the Raiders at 15.
Yeah,
had him at 15. But then we had all world Khalil Mack, and they were 24th. That's like 9 positions. Like that's a whole jump. That's a whole tier. They're not even on the same tier. Like I can see if the in the same tier, and then
Yeah,
you say, well, the reason why they got the better up is because Max would never leave the field.
exactly.
Okay, cool. All right, then so when Khalil Mack
Who?
leave the field, who do we put there?
That's the point. We don't know because he won't leave. It's not
Who
because
so
he
when
just
so when
won't
Khalil Mack left
leave.
the field, who did we put there? When Khalil Mack left the field, who did we put there?
The person who got the other sack when Khalil Mack wasn't getting it because he was resting his body. That's the person we put there. The point is we can't even put somebody next to Max because he's not gonna leave. You see what I'm saying? And here's the thing: given that we've never had a player who made his entire career based on "I will never leave the field," we have to judge him based on "I will never leave the field." And if you're saying you're never going to leave the field, then you need to get more sacks than the person who is at least leaving the field every now and then, right? And here's what the Maxwell thing fell apart is that you can say you'll never leave the field, but it doesn't matter. Your body can only do what your body is capable of doing. And I think the problem has been that one, Maxx Crosby has just never created a good enough defense for anybody else to shine, which is my main point to begin with. Other people don't shine around Maxx Crosby because he has to be number one focus, right?
So look, the record with Crosby, the Raiders are 44-66, which is 40%. And so when then when he was hurt or missed games, they were 2-5, which is 28%.
Mm-hmm.
So with Khalil Mack, when he was on the field, it was 28-36, which is 43%. He never missed any games, so we don't know what we would be like without Khalil Mack. So if anybody didn't leave the field, it was Khalil Mack. But
You say Khalil
that's
Mack
not
never left the
that's
field?
not that's not Khalil Mack's fault because, like I said, I don't think it's a bad thing that you didn't leave the field. All I'm saying is this: Khalil Mack was only 3% better, 3% better than Mack.
Yeah, okay.
3% better.
Yeah, but that 3% equal double the tackle. 3% better, 3% better, and it equals double the tackle. Let's trade Maxx Crosby for another person who's just 3% better. Because if that means double the tackle, yes, I want it. Especially now that Max is getting older, even though that doesn't apply. But you're right, 3% more Khalil Mack equal double the tackle, meaning he was way more impactful against the run as well. And that does technically make your whole team better because if you can stop the running back from gaining ground, other people will come in and swallow up the running back. So I do think the answer is this: Khalil Mack's defense probably was equally as good against the run as it was against the pass. Right? Matt gave up the edge way too. I'm telling you, we all saw that.
Man, he's just talking, man.
The only reason we love Max so much is because one, he's the best player we've had for such a long time. But if we're gonna be honest about his actual performance, I'm gonna say, yeah, no, there's a lot left to be desired. And for some reason, and also this has to do with just improving the defense, Khalil Mack was just able to get the big play when we needed it because for some way, somehow, the scheme, the defense, whatever it was, he was just able to give us more of what we needed when we needed. And again, remember, we're talking about a rookie quarterback in Derek Carr. We're not talking about a veteran that Max had. We're talking about a rookie quarterback. So yeah,
So yeah, okay. What they stopped the run better, but they couldn't stop the pass for nothing. Matter of fact, they couldn't do nothing else, actually. Like they stopped the run but couldn't do anything else. But Maxx Crosby, they did everything else but stop the run. So you telling me you rather just be able to stop the run and can't stop nothing else versus can't stop the run, but you can stop everything else. That's what you rather do?
Well, given that both teams went to the playoffs the same amount of times, I think I would say I'm still taking Khalil Mack's defense. I mean,
yeah, well,
the end result in terms of wins, in terms of playoffs, was still the same. But I think I don't know what anybody else thinks, but Naughty says Max gives up the edge too much. Nate,
yeah, Max hater. Be part of the Max Haters Club.
Okay, fine. I'll be a Max hater too. Then
No,
I
not
think
you. You talking about Nate?
all I'm saying is I'm willing to be a Max hater because I would say, yo, Max, for all the years we've had you, honestly, I'm sorry. I don't know what the result has been. You're not a Hall of Famer.
But we're not talking about the player. We're talking about the defensive unit.
Okay, I'm saying based on the past 8 years that we've had with Maxx Crosby, he hasn't improved the defense enough for me to bank on it to the point where I'm okay to not have Maxx Crosby. Is what I'm trying to say. Is like, yeah, I get it. You'll never leave the field. You blah 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 blah. But again, we're not getting any better. Is that you? Is that them? We don't know. For some reason, though, we're just not. And we've had the same coaching defensive staff, right? You see what I'm saying? Like,
I'm confused how we had Khalil Mack. We never had a middle tier defense with Khalil Mack. But with Maxx Crosby, we had a middle tier defense 2 times with worse quarterbacks, like super worse quarterbacks, like with the worst team. Like he had a middle of the pack defense with a worse team than Khalil Mack had with a better team. And Khalil Mack is a better player. So to me, it looked like that Maxx Crosby maximized his opportunity more. But that's because he never left the field.
Because he never left the field. Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. Okay, I see what you're saying. So you're saying that Maxx Crosby is more impactful. His defense was more impactful on his defense than Khalil Mack was on his defense
overall.
Okay. And I'm saying the opposite. I think overall, Khalil Mack was more. Okay. Mack was on a rookie contract. Max going on his 3rd contract. Yeah. That's true.
Oh, my God. Max was a 4th rounder. What was Khalil Mack? So if we're going to start putting all these, if we're going to put all these caveats in there, then so we're comparing a 4th rounder to a pro. What number was Khalil Mack picked?
Number 4.
Like he was in the first round. He was a first rounder.
Overall. Yeah, he was picked number 4 overall. But Maxx Crosby never leaves the game. I'm sorry.
So we're comparing a number 4 player to a 4th rounder, but the 4th rounder had his defense in the middle tier, but this number 4 player had the defense at the bottom. But y'all saying that defense was better because Khalil Mack was better.
Okay, put it this way. When Khalil Mack's defense, it was apparent that we didn't really need to bring in a whole lot of other things to make that defense function. And it's been apparent from Maxx Crosby's defense that he has needed help to make that defense function. And we've given him help, including drafting high, including paying tons of people to come in, and it hasn't worked. Right? So if you go, who do you think the least amount of help is needed to make the defense function? Yeah, I think Khalil Mack even gets that point. Right? Because we can't say we haven't tried to help Max. Well, he hasn't got no help, but we've tried to help him. It just hasn't. We literally drafted Tyree Wilson to help him, and that didn't work. Right?
Yeah.
And we brought in Christian Wilkins to help, and that didn't work.
Let's look at the.
I'm saying Maxx Crosby is the one that's making them duds. That's what I'm saying.
Oh my God! So Malcolm Kuntz is garbage because of Maxx Crosby.
Yes.
let's look at the defenses. 2016 defense.
Fine.
They had Khalil Mack. Go ahead.
You want me to say my real issue with Maxx Crosby? I'll tell you my real issue with Maxx Crosby. Because when Maxx Crosby came into the Raiders, one, he made the claim that he would never leave the field because, again, you're a player. That's not your call. So you put the coaching staff in a position where, guess what? If your player says he's not going to do something, it's either you're going to fight him right there on the field or you're just going to let him do whatever he wants. So Max got whatever he wants. Fine. I'm not done. I'm going to get even more mad now because now I'm like, Max, let's get you out of this team. The team would be better without you. Not only that, but you're telling me my boy plays so much, only helped out a little bit. Cool. I'm cool with you on that. But here's the thing, though. Maxx Crosby also kept saying that his way of rushing the passer was the best way of rushing the passer. And that just annoyed the hell out of me. Because guess what? What was the number one thing people kept saying against Tyree Wilson? It can only bull rush. The reason we kept saying that is because freaking Maxx Crosby kept telling everybody that his way of rushing a passer was the best way to rush a passer. I'm telling you that Maxx Crosby's entire messaging, his entire personality has not made the Raiders better. It just hasn't. We've become a worse team under Maxx Crosby.
Yeah, because the offense.
Because
of the offense.
Maybe because
what do you mean we haven't had an offense in hella years?
Yeah.
Since Derek Carr left.
Fine. It's everybody else's fault. Fine. Well, we can't win with Maxx Crosby, so let's just get him off the team then. It's not like we're
No,
not
so we're not
winning
gonna
with
get
him.
everybody off the team. We ain't been winning with nobody. What do you mean?
We got Quiddy Pay. He's
So
better than Maxx Crosby.
now look, let's look at this 2016 lineup. The Oakland Raiders 2016.
Yeah, and he
They
still
had
wants
Khalil
AP as
Mack.
his coach.
They had Khalil Mack, Bruce Irvings, who was balling, Dan Williams, Justin Ellis, and Stacey McGee. Justin Ellis, which was balling. Well, I won't say he was balling, but he was good. Rahal Ward and Danico Autry, they played deep. They played better than Kuntz and whoever else we had. But Malcolm Smith, we don't remember Malcolm Smith. What about Perry Riley and Corey James? Corey James. Then we had Sean Smith, Damon Emerson, Reggie Nelson, and Carl Joseph. He was a rookie. Now, this is the 2023. We had Maxx Crosby, Malcolm Kuntz, Bilal Nichols, John Jenkins, Robert Spillane, Divine Diablo, Nate Hobbs, Marcus Peters with Jack Jones.
What? You're telling me Maxx couldn't win with those team? No. Maxx is
you can't. Jacorian Bennett, Marcus Epps, and Trevon Merrick. That defense is not better than the 2016 defense.
No.
2016 defense is way better.
No. Okay. Put that up. Conversation. Let's go. Which defense is better? No, because I think what you just listed up was way better than we had. Dude, when Khalil Mack played, the only person I remember was Khalil Mack.
No, you don't remember Bruce Irvin as much as he was balling?
Bruce Irvin. Yeah. He balled for like
Bruce
a year
Irvin
or
was
two.
balling.
For like a year or two.
We're talking about 2016.
Okay.
Malcolm Smith. David
Smith.
Emerson. Sean Smith. Reggie Nelson.
I think Maxx has had better help around him. I'm sorry, man. We've drafted more people to help out Maxx. Trayvon Merrick, remember, he was good and we brought him to help. Even Diablo played better once he left our team. Divine Diablo improved once he left the Raiders.
We don't have a better record.
Robert Spillane improved once he left the Raiders.
Here come the haters. We don't. I just told y'all we don't have a better record with them than without them.
It's about equal. The stats wise, everything is about equal. But I'm telling you, whenever we bring
the Raiders are
Maxx,
the Raiders are 2-5, man. The Raiders are 2-5 without Maxx.
Whenever we bring people to help Maxx, it just doesn't work out. And when they leave the team, they somehow do play at the same level or even improve.
Oh, let's say how y'all go ignore that with Khalil they was ranked 24th, 25th, and with Maxx they was ranked 15th. But y'all go tell me the 24th is better than the 15th because the player on the 24th is better than the one on the 16th. That's what y'all telling me.
No, we're saying because
that's what y'all telling me.
We're saying because the team overall was better.
No, we talking about defense. And,
yes.
And not only that, the team that was better was the one that Khalil Mack was on because they went 12-4.
We've spent more money and time building around Maxx, and we've
had a better team. Y'all had a better team and produced less than a person who had a worser team who produced more, but somehow the person who produced less is better because that individual player is better than the individual player over here. That's what y'all telling me. That's the logic.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is Maxx Crosby doesn't make people better around him. And when they leave, they actually prove that, no, they can play. I'm just saying that it might be because Maxx Crosby is the reason why the defense isn't significantly improving. Even though we've helped, we've brought in people, we've paid millions.
Who did Khalil Mack make better? Who did Khalil Mack make better?
The entire team.
How? When they never made it out of 24th and 25th rank.
Yeah, but they did. But the team, the overall team was
you
just
know
the
that
chemistry
don't make
was
sense.
better.
You know that don't make sense. He made them better, but they never left the bottom half of the defense of the NFL.
Here's what I would say. When it comes to those stats, I think relying on those stats I think the eye test proves that stats like that don't necessarily matter because the eye test definitely proved Khalil Mack was much more impactful for the defense than Maxx Crosby has better stats.
And y'all lying, y'all got lying eyes.
But the eye test is showing us that no, Khalil Mack is being way more impactful on his defense.
No, y'all eyes is lying to y'all. Y'all looking at one player. Maybe. We're talking about the whole defense. We're not talking about one player. Yeah, we're talking about the whole defense.
Okay,
not one player.
I'm playing money ball, and I think I'm just playing money ball because at this point I'm like, no, I would rather replace Maxx Crosby with 3 players who can give me the same things that Maxx Crosby is giving me. But Khalil Mack was giving me things that Maxx Crosby just couldn't give me.
No, wait, we got rid of Khalil Mack, and the defense got better. What do you mean?
Ooh, is that true? Let's check it.
I just gave y'all the numbers. We got rid of Khalil Mack, and our defense got better.
Because we then used what we got for Khalil Mack to round out the defense better? Okay,
whatever you want to call it.
But whatever you want,
whatever the reason is, because you just said you would rather have 3 players to do what Max do, so that could apply to Khalil Mack too. So that means we got rid of Khalil Mack, got hella players, including Josh Jacobs, right?
But that's what I'm trying to get to. That's what I'm trying to get to.
And that didn't even help us because that didn't make us a better offense because we didn't have no quarterback.
But that's what I'm trying to get to, though. We've given Max all the help that we can. It's not working. Well, okay, fine.
So all the help that we talk about is Jimmy Garoppolo.
Let us know business. What more should we give Maxx Crosby to bring out his full potential? Because he's not a Hall of Famer.
A quarterback. A quarterback.
So Derek Carr wasn't good enough.
No, but the years that we're talking about, he wasn't his quarterback.
I agree. Derek Carr wasn't good enough. I agree. I totally agree. I don't disagree with you.
No, I'm saying the years that we're talking about that Derek Carr wasn't the quarterback. 23 and 24, he wasn't the quarterback. Now, if we would have had 2016 Derek Carr, then with that defense, then they would have been better than the 2016 team. They would have been.
Okay, I think it seems that we just got to keep spending money on making Maxx Crosby the best Maxx Crosby.
No, just go get a quarterback.
No, I think we just trade him personally.
But now we got a quarterback now, right? We got a quarterback now, right? We got 2 quarterbacks.
Okay,
so now it ain't no. So now it's no excuse.
So now
it's no excuse for Max.
Okay, fine. So then, what do you think Maxx Crosby's defense is going to end this year then? Because it's still his defense, right?
Huh?
It's still Maxx Crosby's defense.
Yeah,
right?
because this defense is going to be better than the one in 2013, the better than 23 and 24.
Okay.
So like you just asked, where does that put our defense? Well, that should put our defense at anywhere from 15 to 10.
Okay. Who was Khalil Mack's defensive tackle?
Khalil Mack's?
Yeah. Who was the defensive tackle? Because when we're saying better does mean that
Justin Ellis, man.
Oh,
come on, man.
Because when we're saying better, we do mean that the people next to him, their game improves. And what I've been saying is the people next to Max, behind Max, their games have not improved. We cannot say that has nothing to do with Max. At the very least, if he's not going to improve the guy right next to you, or bringing somebody else who's going to improve the guy right next to you. That's the only way the defense is going to get better. We can't keep spending millions and millions to bring in other people only to have them just fall apart on their face and then going, well, why did that happen? Why didn't they play well for us, even though they played better for other people? I don't know. Maxx Crosby, that's the answer.
So is Bruce Irvin better than Malcolm Kuntz? Yes or no?
I don't like Malcolm Kuntz, so my answer is no, because I think Malcolm Kuntz is playing out of position. But Maxx Crosby has Butler, Adam Butler.
He ain't did nothing. Butler ain't did nothing.
Because Maxx Crosby doesn't know how to help him. That's my point. Maxx Crosby doesn't know how to make him better. Maxx Crosby is only thinking about Maxx Crosby. Maxx Crosby is like, I'm Maxx Crosby. I'm going to go tackle that guy because I'm Maxx Crosby. And we're like,
now, see, the thing about it is, had I not looked this up, this is your fault. Like you said to me, this is your fault. This is your fault because, see, had I would have not looked this up, I probably would have thought too that Khalil Mack defense was better. Had I not looked it up, But now that I actually looked it up, now I see statistically it ain't even close.
Okay,
It
who
ain't
are you
even
choosing?
close statistically.
Prime Khalil Mack or Prime Maxx Crosby? Answer, chat. That's the question. Who are we choosing? And
What
why?
player?
Why? Yes, Prime.
Oh,
Let's
player?
go. Let's have the
Oh,
Prime conversation.
player, I'm picking Khalil Mack.
Why?
Because Khalil Mack is a better all-around player by itself.
Okay.
I'm just talking about just him. I ain't talking about his ability to make other people better because he don't have an ability to make other people better. Like he ain't make
No.
he make better.
Here's my argument. Because by your admission, Khalil Mack is a better all-around player. It does mean that when you put somebody next to Khalil Mack's abilities is able to help that person next to them, which is what Maxx Crosby's ability can do.
Who did he do that with?
But remember, we didn't bring anybody for Khalil Mack. We brought in people for Maxx Crosby.
What do you mean we didn't bring? We brought in Bruce Irvin for Khalil Mack. We brought in Jelly in for him. We brought all them players in for Khalil Mack. What do you mean?
Come on, those guys. That is not at the same level of an Adam Butler, of drafting Tyree Wilson, of right? That's not the same level.
Oh my gosh! Hey, I'm sorry, but Bruce Irvin's. Do y'all even remember Bruce Irvin's playing?
Bruce Irvin was good.
He was going crazy.
Adam Butler is also good, and he plays defensive tackle.
Butler didn't get no stats.
I know, because
Malcolm Smith was even good.
Because Max wants to eat all the cereal. He don't want to leave no cereal for anybody else. That's why. We want some damn cereal, Max. Leave us some cereal.
So y'all say Khalil Mack showed up when needed, right? Y'all say that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, he shows up when needed. Y'all can say that, right?
Yeah.
Y'all can say that, but the defensive unit itself, the whole defensive unit, we ain't talking about who the best player is. Y'all keep trying to default to the best player. We're talking about who's the best unit. The best unit. You can say, yeah, he showed up more often. Yeah, but you know who played more consistent? Obviously, it was Maxx Crosby defense.
Thank you, Ray. Are we kidding? Dude, Khalil Mack was so impactful. He played 2 positions and won awards at 2 positions. This is the impact I'm talking about.
So that means he had to play 2 positions to only make it to the bottom of the NFL. No, he played 2 positions. Right, he was a defensive player of the year, and he was on a garbage defense.
But the other way to look at it
but now this is what y'all would say. Had that been Max, y'all would have been like, well, there ain't no other players on there, so that just makes him look better. I've heard y'all say that about Max already. But there is nobody else on the defense, so it makes Max look better. Well, that applies to Khalil Mack because they at least Crosby had a middle tier defense 2 years in a row. When has Maxx Crosby? When has Khalil Mack had a middle tier defense with the Raiders?
I think you love Maxx Crosby too much. I think you love Maxx Crosby too much. I think
we never had a middle tier defense with him.
I just like Khalil Mack more.
I like Khalil Mack more too. I like Khalil Mack more too. Absolutely like Khalil Mack more. I do.
All right,
and I think if we would have put Khalil Mack. If we would have put Khalil Mack on the 23, if we would have put Khalil Mack defense on the 2023 defense or the 2024 defense, could he make them a middle tier defense without that offense? Because we don't know how well he plays when he don't have an offense because he's always had Derek Carr. Now, if we would have gave him Gardner Minshew and Garoppolo, then what? Then what? He would have been the MVP of the league? That's what y'all trying to tell me?
Charles needed Charles. Oh, yeah, Mack needed Charles Wilson to now retire. Okay. Mack did have Charles Woodson in the backfield, right? He did have him in the backfield. Because Woodson was playing safety at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was playing safety.
Yeah.
Like I get it. Like I agree with y'all. I agree that Maxx Crosby is not a better player than Khalil Mack. Like I agree with that.
Yeah, but part of my argument that is with the scheme. The fact that Khalil Mack played edge and linebacker means that you can move him around more, scheme up other people. What I specifically said is Maxx Crosby is hard to scheme up other people to succeed with because 1, he'll never leave the field, but 2, he also doesn't really play anything but that one standard position, which means you can't even bring in anybody else on that side to begin with. And Khalil Mack has proven that you can move him forward, you can move him backwards, you can kind of move him around the field to be more impactful for the defense. So
I'm about to look up something right now. I promise you, if this that whole, I'm telling you,
let's find it. Let's find it.
I'm saying, let's say the Chargers defense. He's been on the Chargers, right? What are their defense ranking? Chargers defense ranking. Let me see.
You're picking Max today? No, I'm picking today. Oh, well, today. Let's see. Let me look at Khalil Mack's stats today.
Hey, so look.
No, Max is out of it. He's only getting
so
6 sacks
look
now.
at this. Oh my God. Hold on, y'all. So you know what, man? Maxx Crosby had a better defense with the Raiders than Khalil Mack has with the Chargers. Hold on, and the Chargers definitely had better players on their team. They definitely had better players on their
Khalil
team.
Mack made their players better on their team.
Derwin James? He didn't make Derwin James better. Derwin James was just bad all by himself.
But hey, Derwin James is not a bust, right? That counts for something, right? He's not a bust.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
I mean, okay, how many people have we brought in to help Max that just turned out to be bust? We can't say that doesn't have play any impact in it. Or maybe it doesn't. But that is the only thing we can look at. That is a thing to look at, right? Absolutely not. Derek Carr over every QB since him. I'm picking DC. Every QB since Derek Carr? What? Rich Gannon? No, I'm picking Rich Gannon. If you're going that far back.
Rich Gannon?
Over Derek Carr?
Yeah, for sure.
Prime Rich Gannon over Derek Carr. Easy. What are we talking about?
Yeah, for sure.
Ray?
Like it ain't even close.
Ray said Derek Carr over every QB since him. No, you're smoking on something like that. No. Rich
Well, he
Gannon
said
all the way.
Every since who?
Carr. He's saying he's gonna Derek Carr over every QB since him, meaning every. Oh no. I mean, it stops at Rich Gannon. Was there somebody better than Derek Carr after Rich Gannon? Because not every quarterback we had after. Oh no, we had a what's his face, the Bengals quarterback. He wasn't in his prime anymore. Yeah, we had Carson Palmer. Remember, we brought in Carson Palmer for like a year or two. Would you pick? I would pick prime Carson Palmer over Derek Carr. Khalil Mack would mostly only actually. Yeah. No, Khalil Mack is actually pretty consistent. He still gets it. It's just his production is just a lot less. His production is cut in half generally. It still gets the same amount of tackles versus his production is just cut in half. What stats are you looking at?
I'm trying to see Maxx Crosby 2023 season against Khalil Mack's best season 2023, I guess, with them. Like even their rankings was bottom tier, 24th in points, 28th in yards allowed. Like only Khalil Mack was. They have better players on their defense. It's just that Khalil Mack is so good by himself. It's just like really what it's telling me is he don't make nobody better. He's better.
The guy won the defensive player of the year on 2 defense.
No, that means he's just good.
No,
he's just super good.
That
don't mean he make other players better.
No, that means you can scheme them up to make
if you made other players better, that would mean your defense that would be normally a bottom tier defense would be at least a middle tier defense. They would go up a tier. But if you're the defensive player of the year and your defense is at the bottom, that means y'all super garbage, really.
Okay, so
that's what it really means.
So
y'all just got a good player on y'all team. He ain't making nobody better. So he's making better.
We are using a little bit of different mind here because when I'm saying better, what I'm saying is, can I put you on the field where the guy next to you is going to the guy next to you, his play is going to improve? And I think Khalil Mack did that more, where the person next to him.
Who's the player?
Well, I don't know who's the player.
Because y'all making it up.
I guess maybe we are. Maybe we are. Maybe we are. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm just saying I don't like Maxx Crosby. I don't like the way he plays. Yeah, and I'm okay to say that. I'm okay to say
No,
that.
you absolutely okay
Yeah,
to say that.
I'm okay to say that. Yeah, I'm okay to say
Yeah.
the way that Maxx Crosby plays. I don't think it makes the Raiders a better team. And I think we've got 8 years to see that. Yeah, no, Max will not make the Raiders a better team. He just, it's not his fault. Yeah, if it's not his fault, then it still stands. He's not making us a better team.
So when you're the when
Maybe
you're the face of the
because
franchise,
Derek Carr and Khalil Mack liked each other. Maybe that's what it was, and Maxx Crosby doesn't really like his quarterback. Maybe that's what it is. But whatever it is, Maxx Crosby, Khalil Mack just seemed to have made the team better, and we all kind of saw that. And with Max, we've had 8 years of really nothing getting better. Khalil Mack over DC. I know. What, dude, I'm crazy with this a bit. If we did not trade Khalil Mack and we still brought in Crosby. Because remember, the only reason we brought in Crosby and what's his name is because we traded Khalil Mack. Right?
Yeah, because we traded Khalil Mack. Right.
So I mean, really, it is really John Gruden's fault. Yeah, he was the one that made the team not better. But I think after seeing 8 years of Maxx Crosby, if I'm being honest, Nation, I'm kind of tired of it. I'm kind of ready to move on to something else.
See, but see, that's what happened. See, that's what happened with Derek Carr. People was like, well, I'm just tired of it because we're not winning. Like, exactly. That's not Derek Carr's fault, though, that we weren't winning.
Oh, who else are we going to blame? Look, even if we can't blame anybody, fine. Let's just get rid of people and just bring in new people. That's what I say. Again, there was a reason we traded Max earlier this season. It's because the defense and the team hasn't improved with him as being the leader, right? Does that mean that Maxx Crosby is not a leader of men? Maybe that's what it means. Maybe his style of defense leadership doesn't work for the team, and it just worked better for when Kahlil Mack was a leader. Whatever the case may be, the point is the defense, the team has not been better under Maxx Crosby to the point where, yeah, we should probably move on from Maxx Crosby and start that whole defensive side over. Whew.
Oh, this is gonna get uglier. This is get uglier and uglier for y'all. Like, hold on. Let's see the team record. Oh yeah, yep. See, I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. So look.
Okay, let me have it.
So Khalil Mack played 64 games with the Raiders, right?
Mm-hmm.
His first 64 games, he went. Well, his only 64 games with the Raiders. He played 64 games. He went 28-36, and they had one playoff appearance. Mm-hmm. Guess what Maxx Crosby record was for his first 64 games?
Mm-hmm.
27-37. So it's only one game differential, and they both had playoff appearances. Don't try to tell me that. Do not try to tell me that. Don't try to tell me that Khalil Mack is superior. Superior.
But wait, doesn't that mean that Maxx Crosby had a better defense, a better team?
No,
if they had a better
one
record?
Game.
Okay, so that's
one
not,
game.
Okay, fine. That's not enough. You're right. That's not enough.
Yeah, one game.
Okay.
And Maxx Crosby ain't even better than Khalil Mack. We talking about a 4th rounder against a number 4 pick. So to me,
I agree.
To me, that number 4 pick was a waste.
I agree.
It made me start talking bad about this boy Khalil Mack.
I think Maxx Crosby hasn't been good enough for the team under no circumstances. So again, for somebody we've been talking about nonstop for at least the past 5 years. So are we saying this? The amount of focus we've given Maxx Crosby, the amount of money we spent to make Maxx Crosby better, the amount of fans that have shouted his name. Are you telling me that we've all been better off with Maxx Crosby over Khalil Mack? Because I feel like Khalil Mack. Okay.
Yeah. Not individually, not individual player. Because if you look at it. I mean, Maxx Crosby had Defensive Player of the Year, 2-time first-team All-Pro, 3 Pro Bowls. In that same stretch, Max only had 1 second-team and 1 second-team All-Pro and 1 Pro Bowl. So, yeah, individually, Khalil Mack was better, but the defensive unit itself was better with Maxx Crosby.
But that just means that Max had better players.
No, it don't.
It
No,
doesn't.
it don't.
Okay.
Because
So you're
we
saying
just looked at the
okay.
roster. We just looked at the roster and saw that that's not true.
Okay.
And Khalil Mack had a better offense.
Okay. Okay.
But I like I said, I would pick Khalil Mack twice on Sundays,
exactly.
once on Thursdays, and twice on Saturdays.
All right.
That I would go get him by far. I would if I had to pick. If I had to start a franchise, I'm picking Khalil Mack. That's not an argument.
Well, then Maxx Crosby has what 3-4 more years to prove something to all of us, or else once his career is done, we're just gonna forget him as the one decade in Raider history where we had Maxx Crosby, but nothing came of it. Either way, it's like no, I'm still remembering Khalil Mack much more fondly, and that's it much more fondly.
We didn't do nothing with Khalil Mack either.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Well, we went 12-4. We went 12-4, and then everybody hang on to that 1 year like that was our year. Like Ray that's Flores. A shame that we had 1 year that we hanging on to like that.
So Ray, I actually disagree with that statement. That bottom statement, that's actually not true. That's not true. And that's the thing. We look at defensive players and we're like, oh, defensive players are individuals. No, they're not individuals. A defense is good when they play as a unit, not individuals.
Well,
I get your logic. I get your logic because the quarterback is passing the ball, right? But no, the defense is more of a unit than the offense is. And a broken offense can still work if the quarterback throws. A broken defense does not work at all. That would just give up a defense. That would just
have you seen a broken? We had a broken. Well, our defense broke down last year. You know what a broken offense looked like? See last year. And then if that one wasn't good enough for you, see the year before that.
Okay.
Like our offense is so broke that we think AOC is good. That's how broke our offense is. That we really think AOC could start. That's how. Yeah. And now that I'm thinking about it, now that I'm thinking about this eye test, some of y'all need to get your eyes checked because a lot of y'all are talking about this eye test. Y'all think AOC is a starter in this league.
Well, again, is AOC a starter in the league? Well, he was drafted, so it's not, and he wasn't drafted like 7th. He was drafted 4th round, so it's not like he was drafted. So it's not like he's a UDFA. If a UDFA can start in the league, and some have, I think AOC can start in the league. It's a matter of who's going to give him a shot. I just don't know if anyone's going to give him a shot, but that's not on him. It's just, I don't know. It is.
He can start for how long?
Put it this way. I would not be surprised if one day Aiden O'Connell wins a Super Bowl. Right. That wouldn't surprise me. For one game, that wouldn't surprise me. Right. Because Nick Foles did that. So.
Well, yeah. If you had one game, and he can't like if he would have came in for Stidham instead of Stidham,
right?
No, see, even then though, he
one game.
See AOC because then
one game. Who would you pick to be more impactful for one game Super Bowl? Maxx Crosby or AOC? Who would you pick to guarantee you a Super Bowl win?
Maxx Crosby. Who would I pick? AOC or Stidham? I probably would say AOC.
Based on what I've seen, I would pick AOC to win me a Super Bowl over Maxx Crosby because I don't think Maxx Crosby can. I think Maxx Crosby can be Maxx Crosby, but I don't think that's gonna get you a win because it hasn't gotten us a win. I don't think it's gonna get you a win. That's my problem, right?
Y'all just made me appreciate Maxx Crosby even more now. I already said y'all don't deserve. A lot of us don't deserve Maxx Crosby, but now I see it now.
Fine. I don't want to deserve Maxx Crosby. I want to deserve wins. We're not getting wins. I don't want to deserve Maxx Crosby. I want wins.
Because I'm gonna tell you the difference right now. I'm gonna tell you what the difference is. The difference is now that y'all gonna see something that y'all ain't seen before is Maxx Crosby with a quarterback. In a run game,
that's my point.
And a competent offense. Watch how Maxx Crosby played the next 2 years, 2 to 3 years.
Max, if you're watching this, show me. I'm not gonna sing a rap song to you. Show me.
No, do your Dougie, bro. I'm holding it down. I'm holding it down for you.
But look,
and I didn't even know. I didn't even know
John
that your
just made my
I didn't even know your defense was better than Khalil Mack.
John just
I didn't
made my
know that.
point. So John said this: if Maxx can't be the game changer and carry our defense, might as well get some picks for him and start Tyree Wilson with less money. That was my whole point. It's like, dude, Maxx hasn't been getting us what we need. Right? That's the point, right? If it's gonna be all the same, then fine. Start me Tyree Wilson because Maxx, we're not gonna get wins with Maxx Crosby, right? Start me Tyree Wilson. Let's put that kind of money ball. So. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to a close. This was a good conversation. Oh.
Yeah. So it was so good. It was so good. I realized that Khalil Mack is overrated.
He's a Hall of Famer. You can't get more overrated than Hall of Famer.
No, you're right about that part.
Yeah, I want Maxx to be a Hall of Famer, but Khalil Mack is a Hall of Famer.
You're actually right about that part, actually.
Ladies and gentlemen, we should call it a night, man. We should call it a night.
Hey, thank you guys. Thank you guys.
If you're still here, drop some ratings in the chat. Drop some ratings in the chat if you're still here.
Come on, man. We definitely appreciate y'all for hacking into the show. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the loyalty. And y'all already know it's one nation.
I promise you, when the season starts, we're not gonna fight every episode, but this is great. This is great.
Y'all already know.
Raiders.
I'm a Raider. He's a Raider. You're a Raider. From the Bay to LA to Las Vegas.
Let's go.
I'm a Raider. From the Bay to LA to Las Vegas. Recipes to Al Davis.